She was found in a water tank, on the roof of a hotel that guests were still drinking from. It sounds like urban legend, but it's real. The Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles had long been a magnet for tragedy. But in 2013, it became the epicenter of a mystery that would grip the internet and never let go. Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old student from Vancouver, vanished without a trace. Her last known movements were captured in a 4-minute elevator video released by the LAPD. In it, she appears confused, frightened, and erratic. She presses buttons that don't respond. She peeks out into the hallway, hides in the corner, and makes strange hand gestures, as if communicating with someone invisible. Then she disappears. The video went viral. Millions watched. Millions speculated. Theories ranged from mental illness to demonic possession. But while mainstream media sensationalized, Reddit mobilized. Thousands of anonymous users, armed with curiosity, empathy, and digital tools, began dissecting every frame. They mapped the hotel. They tracked timelines. They interviewed guests. They uncovered inconsistencies the police missed. This wasn't just internet sleuthing. It was a decentralized investigation. A digital manhunt. A collective obsession. And it all started with a single video. Elisa Lam was bright, introspective, and curious. She loved fashion, literature, and blogging. Her Tumblr, Nouvelle Nouveau, was filled with poetic musings, quotes from authors like Chuck Palahniuk, and candid reflections on her struggles with bipolar disorder. In January 2013, she set off on a solo trip through California. Her parents were hesitant, but Elisa insisted she needed the adventure. She traveled by Amtrak and bus, stopping in San Diego and then Los Angeles. On January 26th, she checked into the Cecil Hotel. The Cecil was cheap, centrally located, and, unbeknownst to Elisa, infamous. Its history included suicides, overdoses, and serial killers. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, had lived there. Jack Unterweger had murdered sex workers while staying there. Locals called it cursed. Elisa was assigned a shared room on the 5th floor. But after 2 days, her roommates complained about her odd behavior. She was moved to a private room. On January 31st, she was last seen by hotel staff. She was supposed to check out that day. She didn't. Her parents, alarmed by the silence, contacted the LAPD. A search began. Flyers went up. Police interviewed staff and guests. But no leads emerged. Then on February 14th, the LAPD released the elevator footage. It was grainy, time-stamped, and deeply unsettling. Elisa enters the elevator. She presses multiple buttons. The doors don't close. She steps in and out. She hides. She gestures strangely. Her movements are erratic, almost theatrical. At one point, she appears to be talking to someone, though no one is visible. Then she walks out of frame, and never returns. The video spread like wildfire. News outlets picked it up. YouTubers analyzed it. Paranormal forums lit up. But Reddit took it further. They didn't just watch. They investigated. Within hours, Reddit threads dissected every frame. Users enhanced the footage, stabilized it, and slowed it down. They noticed the elevator didn't move, suggesting someone had pressed the hold button. They mapped out the elevator's layout and compared it to hotel schematics. One user identified the elevator model and discovered a delay in the timestamp. The video had been edited. Frames were missing. Why? Others tracked down the Cecil's floor plan. They pinpointed Elisa's room, the elevator's location, and the rooftop access points. They built 3D models. They theorized routes she could have taken. Theories emerged. Paranormal. Was Elisa interacting with a ghost? Stalker. Was someone following her? Psychosis. Was she experiencing a manic episode? But Reddit didn't stop at speculation. They started digging. Redditors uncovered the hotel's disturbing history. In the 1930s, guests jumped from windows. In the 1960s, a woman was found raped and murdered in her room. In the 1980s, Richard Ramirez lived there while committing his murders. In the 1990s, Jack Unterweger strangled women during his stay. The hotel had rebranded multiple times, trying to shed its reputation. But the darkness lingered. Users began connecting dots. Elisa's behavior resembled symptoms of bipolar disorder. Her Tumblr posts hinted at emotional instability. But that didn't explain how she ended up in a sealed water tank. On February 19th, after guests complained about low water pressure and foul-tasting water, maintenance staff checked the rooftop tanks. Inside one, they found Elisa's body. She was naked. Her clothes were floating nearby. Her phone was missing. The tank was on the roof, behind a locked door. It required a ladder to access. The lid was heavy. Could Elisa have climbed in herself? Redditors debated. One user, claiming to be a plumber, explained the tank's mechanics. Another posted photos from a rooftop tour showing how easy it was to bypass security. A third found maintenance logs suggesting the lid was open when staff discovered her body. Reddit built timelines. They matched guest complaints with Elisa's estimated time of death. They tracked water usage. They interviewed guests who drank the contaminated water. The horror deepened. Redditors compared the footage to the elevator's specs. They discovered missing frames. The timestamp jumped. The footage had been edited. Why? Some suspected the hotel was protecting itself. Others believed the LAPD was hiding something. A few thought Elisa had been chased, and the chase had been cut from the video. Reddit's obsession grew. They tracked down guests who stayed at the Cecil during Elisa's disappearance. One claimed the water tasted funny. Another posted a photo of brown water from the sink. Reddit turned this into a timeline, matching guest complaints with Elisa's estimated time of death. The autopsy listed her death as accidental drowning. No drugs, no alcohol. But inconsistencies emerged. Her clothes were missing. Her phone was never found. Her body showed signs of bloating inconsistent with the timeline. Redditors consulted forensic experts. They questioned the lack of sexual assault testing. They debated whether her bipolar medication levels were therapeutic or toxic. Some believed she had a psychotic break. Others believed she was murdered. Theories shifted again. Then, a Redditor found something chilling. In 2004, a South Korean horror film called Dark Water featured a girl who drowns in a rooftop tank. The elevator malfunctions. The water turns black. The parallels were uncanny. Had someone recreated the film? Another user discovered that the Cecil Hotel had rebranded itself as Stay on Main shortly after Elisa's death. The rebranding coincided with a PR campaign to erase the hotel's dark past. Reddit suspected a cover-up. But the most disturbing twist came from Elisa's Tumblr. Months after her death, new posts appeared. Was someone accessing her account? Reddit traced the IP address to a location in Los Angeles. The account was eventually deleted, but not before users archived every post. Some claimed the final entries were written in a different tone. Others believed they were scheduled posts. But the mystery deepened. Then came another twist. A Redditor discovered that Elisa had visited a bookstore the day before she vanished. The clerk remembered her. She was friendly, talkative, and seemed fine. This contradicted the theory of a manic episode. Another user found a connection between the Cecil Hotel and tuberculosis testing. Around the time of Elisa's death, a TB test called Lam Elisa was being used in the area. The coincidence was bizarre. Some saw it as proof of conspiracy. Others dismissed it as coincidence. But the layers kept unfolding. Redditors found inconsistencies in police statements. They questioned the timeline. They debated the autopsy. They built alternate theories. Was Elisa chased? Was she hiding? Was she murdered? Reddit didn't solve the case in the traditional sense. No arrests were made. No confessions surfaced. But they did something extraordinary. They refused to let the story die. They questioned. They investigated. They uncovered inconsistencies that forced the LAPD to revisit their findings. They gave voice to a victim who might have otherwise been forgotten. They proved that digital detectives, armed with nothing but curiosity and connection, can challenge institutions, rewrite narratives, and expose truths buried beneath the surface. But they also revealed something darker. The internet doesn't forget. It obsesses. It speculates. It builds myths. Elisa Lam became a symbol, a mystery.